That constant lump in your throat is not a cold. Something hidden is filling your airway with thick fluid right now. If you want to stay healthy and independent as you age, hit that subscribe button right now. We share science-backed health tips like this every single day. I have spent decades analyzing how the human body changes over time. I see thousands of seniors suffering from the exact same annoying throat issues. They clear their throats constantly. They cough after eating. They feel like they are choking on a thick wall of fluid every single morning. This problem ruins your sleep and makes it hard to talk to your loved ones. Today I am going to reveal the true biological reason behind this common struggle. Now before we continue, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. This helps us understand who we're helping. Here is what most people get wrong about throat fluid. Most people think throat mucus is just a sign of a common cold or a seasonal allergy. They buy over-the-counter allergy pills at the pharmacy. They drink gallons of orange juice. They spray chemical mists up their nose for weeks. But here is the thing. A 2021 study from Johns Hopkins University found that over 60% of chronic throat clearing is not caused by allergies at all. Taking allergy medication for this problem is like putting a tiny band-aid on a broken pipe. It does not fix the root cause. It actually dries out your tissues and makes the fluid even thicker. Let me be clear. Your body is not failing you. It is just sending you a warning signal that you are misinterpreting. The constant lump in your throat is your body's way of telling you that something deeper is wrong, and it is time to listen. Let me explain the anatomy of your throat and why this problem becomes so common after 60. Your throat, or pharynx, is a muscular tube that connects your nose and mouth to your esophagus and larynx. It is lined with a mucous membrane that produces a thin layer of mucus to keep the tissues moist and trap debris. Beneath this membrane are glands that produce mucus and tiny hair-like structures called cilia. The cilia beat in a coordinated wave to move mucus and trapped particles downwards toward your stomach, where they are neutralized by acid. This is your body's self-cleaning mechanism. As you age, several things happen. The mucous membrane thins. The glands produce less of the watery component of mucus. The cilia become less efficient, and the muscle tone of your throat and esophagus decreases. These changes combined create the perfect storm for mucus to pool, thicken, and become uncomfortable. The problem is not that your body is producing too much mucus. It is that your body is producing mucus that is too thick, and your clearing mechanism is too slow to remove it. Over time, this pooling mucus can also become a breeding ground for bacteria and irritants, further compounding the problem and leading to chronic inflammation. This is why the issue tends to worsen over time if left untreated, as each day of stagnant mucus adds to the irritation and thickens the fluid even more. The longer you ignore it, the harder it becomes to clear, and the more it disrupts your daily life. Now let me tell you about a woman named Patricia. Patricia was 72 years old and had been suffering from a constant lump in her throat for over 2 years. She had been to 3 different doctors, an allergist, and even an ear, nose, and throat specialist. She had tried allergy medications, nasal sprays, and even underwent a scope of her throat. The doctors told her that everything looked normal and that she might just have to live with it. Patricia was frustrated and embarrassed. She would clear her throat constantly during social gatherings, and she often had to excuse herself from dinner parties because she felt like she was choking. She came to me as a last resort. I asked her to describe her daily routine in detail. She told me she had a glass of milk with every meal, she ate her dinner at 8 o'clock and went to bed at 9, and she never used a humidifier. I immediately identified 3 major issues. The dairy was thickening her mucus, the late dinner was causing silent reflux, and the dry air was dehydrating her throat. I gave her a simple plan: switch to almond milk, eat dinner by 6 o'clock, and run a humidifier in her bedroom. Within 2 weeks, Patricia called me crying tears of joy. She said, "The lump is gone, I can swallow normally again, I feel like I have my life back." Patricia's story is a powerful testament to the fact that the solution to this problem is often simpler than you think. She did not need expensive medications or invasive procedures. She just needed to understand the root causes and make a few targeted changes to her daily routine. Her success is not unique. It is a pattern I have seen repeated hundreds of times with seniors who are willing to listen to their bodies and make adjustments. The first major cause of this throat issue is sluggish throat cleaners. Most people think their body just suddenly decides to make more fluid as they get older, but actually your throat is losing its natural ability to clean itself. Inside your airway, you have millions of tiny microscopic hairs called cilia. Think of them like a line of tiny brooms sweeping dirt down your driveway. They constantly move back and forth to sweep fluid away from your lungs and down into your stomach. A 2019 study from Stanford University found that our throat's self-cleaning sweeping hairs slow down by 35% after age 50. When these tiny brooms slow down, the normal fluid in your throat pools together. It sits there in your airway and turns into a thick gel. You feel this as a constant stuck sensation. The cilia are powered by tiny energy-producing structures called mitochondria, and as we age, these mitochondria become less efficient. This means the cilia simply do not have the energy to beat as quickly or as strongly as they used to. Additionally, exposure to environmental pollutants, smoking, and even chronic stress can further damage the cilia and accelerate their decline. This is why many seniors find that their throat issues worsen when they are tired or stressed. The damage accumulates over time, making it increasingly difficult for your throat to clear itself naturally. To fix this, you need to manually stimulate your throat muscles and clear the pathway. You can do this by practicing deep diaphragmatic breathing. This means breathing deeply from your belly rather than your chest for 5 minutes twice a day. This deep breathing creates a natural pressure wave that clears the stagnant fluid. You also need to support the health of those tiny sweeping hairs with specific nutrients. You must eat foods rich in vitamin A every day. Vitamin A is essential for the health of epithelial tissues, including the mucous membranes and the cilia. Eating half a cup of cooked sweet potatoes daily provides the exact amount of nutrients needed to keep those sweeping hairs moving. You can also eat 1 large carrot daily for the same effect. Beta-carotene, which is found in orange and yellow vegetables, is converted by your body into vitamin A, making these foods an excellent and safe source of this critical nutrient. If you are not a fan of sweet potatoes, you can also eat spinach, kale, or butternut squash. These foods not only provide vitamin A but also contain other antioxidants that protect the cilia from oxidative damage. Over time, this nutritional support can help restore the efficiency of your throat's self-cleaning mechanism. But wait until you see the next cause, because it involves a hidden drying effect that most people completely misunderstand. The second major cause is tissue thinning and hidden drying. Most people think thick fluid means they have too much water in their system. They think they need to dry themselves out. But actually, thick fluid is a sign of deep tissue dryness. As you age, your protective mucosal lining gets thinner. It loses its natural moisture and becomes vulnerable. A 2022 study from the University of California, Los Angeles found that tissue hydration in the throat drops by 40% as we age. When the lining dries out, your body panics. It releases a heavy defense layer of sticky fluid to protect itself from air and dust. Think of it like a hot iron frying pan. If you do not oil it, things stick and burn. Your throat creates this sticky shield because it is desperately craving moisture. The mucosa needs a constant supply of water and healthy fats to maintain its integrity. When it does not get these, it responds by producing more mucus. But this mucus is thick and poorly hydrated because the underlying tissues are dehydrated. This creates a vicious cycle where the thick mucus itself further dries out the tissues by blocking moisture absorption, leading to even more mucus production. The cycle becomes self-perpetuating, making it harder and harder to break free from the discomfort. To fix this, you must change the environment around you and add direct lubrication. You need to use a cool mist humidifier in your bedroom for 8 hours every night while you sleep. This puts moisture back into the air so your throat does not have to panic. You must also consume healthy fats that lubricate your internal linings from the inside out. Eating 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil daily can help calm this defense mechanism. You can also eat a 1/4 cup of walnuts daily to provide essential fatty acids that rebuild the throat lining. Omega-3 fatty acids are particularly important for reducing inflammation and supporting the health of mucous membranes. If you find the taste of olive oil too strong, you can mix it into your salad or drizzle it over cooked vegetables. The key is to get these healthy fats into your system consistently, so your body has the building blocks it needs to produce healthy, well-hydrated mucus. Additionally, drinking small sips of water throughout the day, rather than chugging large amounts at once, helps maintain consistent hydration of the throat tissues. Quick question, have you experienced this annoying throat clearing mostly in the morning? Comment yes or no below. The third major cause is dairy protein trapping. Most people think milk is always good for strong bones as you get older, but actually certain proteins can turn your throat fluid into superglue. There is a specific protein called a 1-beta-casein found in standard cow milk. A 2023 study from Oxford University showed that 45% of older adults experience increased mucus thickness from certain dairy proteins. When this protein mixes with your saliva, it changes the physical structure of the fluid. It makes it stringy, heavy, and incredibly hard to swallow. It feels like you have a thick blanket stuck in the back of your mouth right after you eat. This is not an allergy, it is a sensitivity to the specific structure of the A1 protein. The A1 protein breaks down during digestion to form a peptide called beta-casomorphin 7, which can stimulate mucus production in the respiratory tract. This is why you may notice that your throat feels more congested after a glass of milk or a bowl of ice cream. This effect is often more pronounced in older adults because their digestive systems produce less of the enzyme needed to break down this protein efficiently. The protein fragments remain in your system longer, prolonging the mucus-producing effect. To fix this, you should remove standard cow milk and ice cream from your diet for 2 weeks. Replace it with alternative options that do not contain this specific sticky protein. You can drink 8 ounces of unsweetened almond milk or coconut milk daily instead. If you still want animal milk, you can switch to goat milk or A2 certified cow milk. A2 milk comes from cows that produce only the A2 beta-casein protein, which does not have the same mucus-promoting effect. Consume no more than 6 ounces of these alternatives daily to keep your throat clear. You will notice a massive difference within just a few days of making this single swap. You can also try oat milk or rice milk if you prefer a different taste. The key is to experiment and find the alternative that works best for your body. Many seniors find that the switch to plant-based milks also improves their digestion and reduces bloating, which is an added bonus. But wait until you see the next cause, because it involves a hidden drip that you cannot even feel. Before we go further, if this is making sense so far, hit that like button. It tells me you want more videos like this. The fourth major cause is micronasal inflammation. Most people think their throat and nose are completely separate systems, but actually, they share the exact same internal highway. As we age, our nasal passages become highly sensitive to changes in temperature, humidity, and dust. A 2020 study from the University of Michigan found that microinflammation in nasal passages increases by 50% after age 55. This chronic swelling causes a slow, invisible drip down the back of your throat. You do not even feel it dripping down. It happens while you sleep and while you sit on the couch. It acts like a leaking kitchen faucet dripping water onto the floor all day long. The fluid accumulates in your throat and thickens over time. This is called post-nasal drip, and it is one of the most common causes of chronic throat clearing. The inflammation in your nasal passages is often caused by environmental irritants like dust, pollen, and dry air, but it can also be triggered by changes in hormone levels that occur with age. Additionally, the use of certain medications, such as blood pressure drugs, can exacerbate nasal dryness and inflammation. To stop this invisible drip, you should rinse your nasal passages using a sterile saline spray twice a day. This washes away the dust and pollen before they cause inflammation. You can also use a neti pot with a sterile saline solution if you prefer a more thorough rinse. Be sure to use distilled or previously boiled water to avoid any risk of infection. You can also eat foods high in quercetin, which is a natural compound that calms swelling. Quercetin is a bioflavonoid that acts as a natural antihistamine and anti-inflammatory agent. Eating 1 medium red onion or a small cup of fresh blueberries daily can significantly calm this internal swelling. Adding 1 cup of brewed green tea to your morning routine also helps block the inflammatory triggers. Green tea contains catechins, which are powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation throughout the body, including in your nasal passages. Over time, these dietary changes can significantly reduce the amount of post-nasal drip and the associated throat discomfort. I'd love to hear your story. What made you click on this video today? Share in the comments. The fifth and final major cause is silent acid reflux. Most people think acid reflux always causes a burning feeling in the chest. They think if they do not have heartburn, they do not have acid issues. But actually, the most dangerous type of reflux causes zero heartburn at all. This is called laryngopharyngeal reflux, or silent reflux for short. It happens when the muscle valve at the top of your stomach becomes weak with age. Digestive juices and acid creep up your food pipe while you sleep or sit. They reach the delicate tissues of your throat and cause microscopic chemical burns. A 2024 study from Harvard Medical School revealed that silent reflux affects up to 55% of adults over 55 without causing any traditional heartburn symptoms. Your throat produces an overwhelming amount of thick fluid to protect its delicate walls from this harsh stomach acid. It is your body's ultimate defense mechanism against chemical damage. This is the absolute primary reason your throat feels full every single day. Let me explain the mechanism of silent reflux in more detail. Your stomach produces a powerful acid called hydrochloric acid, which is essential for digesting food. This acid is normally kept in your stomach by a muscle called the lower esophageal sphincter. As you age, this muscle can weaken, allowing acid to escape into your esophagus. In silent reflux, the acid travels all the way up to your throat or larynx, where the tissues are much more sensitive than those in your esophagus. This causes a range of symptoms that are not typically associated with reflux, including throat clearing, a lump sensation, hoarseness, and excess mucus. The mucus is your body's attempt to protect the throat tissue from the acid. However, the mucus itself becomes thick and uncomfortable, leading to the constant clearing and coughing. The damage from silent reflux can also cause scarring and narrowing of the throat over time, making swallowing even more difficult. This is why it is so important to address this cause early. To fix this, you must change when and how you eat your meals. You must stop eating all food at least 3 hours before you go to sleep. This gives your stomach time to empty completely before you lie down flat. You should also elevate the head of your bed by 6 inches using stable bed risers. This uses gravity to keep the stomach acid where it belongs. Do not just use extra pillows, as this can bend your neck and actually worsen the problem. Instead, raise the entire head of your bed using blocks or risers. Drink 1 cup of warm chamomile tea every evening to soothe the stomach valve. Chamomile has natural anti-inflammatory properties that can help calm the tissues of your esophagus and stomach. Avoid drinking more than 4 ounces of liquid during your main meals to prevent stomach overfilling. Also, avoid trigger foods like spicy foods, citrus, chocolate, and fatty foods, especially in the evening. These foods can weaken the esophageal sphincter and stimulate acid production, making the problem worse. Let's pump the brakes for a second. While these natural methods are highly effective, you must always listen to your body carefully. Making sudden changes to your diet or routine can sometimes cause mild adjustments in your system. For example, rinsing your sinuses too aggressively might cause temporary nasal dryness. Increasing your intake of healthy oils too quickly might upset a sensitive stomach. I am not saying this to scare you, but you need to know when it is time to see a medical professional. If you experience real difficulty swallowing your food, unexplained weight loss, or if you see blood in your throat fluid, you must see a doctor immediately. These can be signs of a more serious underlying medical issue that requires a specialist. Always talk to your healthcare provider before starting any new routine. So you're convinced, but thinking, how do I actually do this? Let's break it down into the simplest options for your daily life. You do not need to change your entire life overnight to get relief. Start with an easy daily routine tomorrow morning. When you wake up, drink 8 ounces of warm water mixed with a tiny pinch of sea salt. This instantly breaks up and thins the heavy fluid in your throat. Next, turn on your bedroom humidifier every single evening before you go to bed. This is a highly budget-friendly alternative to expensive medical treatments. You can find a basic cool mist humidifier for a very low cost online or at a local store. Small, consistent steps will yield massive results for your comfort. Let me give you a complete daily routine to clear your throat naturally. In the morning, upon waking, drink a glass of warm salt water. During breakfast, replace your cow milk with almond milk or oat milk. At lunch, include a serving of sweet potato or carrots for vitamin A. In the afternoon, do 5 minutes of deep diaphragmatic breathing to stimulate the cilia. In the evening, eat your dinner by 6 o'clock so your stomach has time to empty before bed. After dinner, drink a cup of chamomile tea. Before bed, turn on your humidifier and elevate the head of your bed. This routine targets all 5 causes of throat fluid and provides a comprehensive solution that works over time. You can also add a short walk after dinner to aid digestion and reduce the risk of reflux. Look, there's a lot of noise out there about aging and health. You don't need to overthink this entire process or buy expensive supplements. You do not need complicated procedures to feel better and breathe clearly again. Start with just one simple action step tonight. Change your last mealtime so your stomach can rest, or add a humidifier to your bedroom. Your body will tell you if it's working because your throat will finally feel clear and comfortable. Remember that healing takes time and consistency is more important than perfection. If this helped you, hit that like button. And if you want more videos like this, make sure you're subscribed because we post new health tips every single day. Stay healthy, stay strong.